And I just want us to caution in terms of what is the sense of community that our agency is trying to create internally within our organization, but also externally when we're interacting with the public. And, I don't want to spend a lot of time right now talking about, our fair enforcers or their work or anything like that. But I also want us to be cautious of who we're othering, because I know that in society and in culture, and especially present day right now, there's a big culture. There is a culture of fear, right? There's a culture of fear because folks might be undocumented, or folks might be houseless, or whatever. So I just want to be cautious of who we are othering, and I'm not saying that we are, but I kind of get a sense from the public with a lot of the comments that they're making on, Facebook about particular things, that our agency is not really serving them, but we're sort of harming certain communities. So I just wanted to call that out, because I've been seeing that, and people have reached out to me. And Doug, I know that last couple months ago, you sent out a very strong message that we also, will never work with ICE, which is great. And I think that message needs to go publicly. There are a lot of folks who, even if they have a fare to...
TriMet might not work with ICE, but the police do. And TriMet does not control the behavior of the police. They have no control over the police. Okay, none.
To pay, they may not write our system, which is also a decline in ridership, because quite frankly, they're just scared, right? They're scared that people are going to check their documentation, or ICE is going to be on the trains. And I've made it very, very explicitly clear to the people that I've been talking to about those concerns that we don't do that. But my voice as an individual will only go so far. So I think our agency needs to take a stand at that and issue some type of statement to the public, so that we can assure folks that, we're not coordinating in what...
Well, they've issued those statements multiple times, but there's credible witnesses that don't believe the statements. I mean, government statements are useless because the government lies all of the time. From Trump to TriMet, they lie all the time. All governments lie. So just because you say you don't do it doesn't mean it's not happening.
In any type of level with ICE enforcement or ICE raids, I think that needs to be very clear, because quite frankly, people and communities are scared right now to take transit.
I don't blame them.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. For me, I know we have our policy posted on our website. It's available. We've tried to your point, try to come out strong on this. It doesn't seem to go away, and so we have more work to do on this. For us, the position is so unwavering clear. You don't have to remember it because it's just the truth. It's easy, and so I think I'm going to have to talk to our team, saying, what are those other ways? Is it an editorial board review I need to do, or some other instruments to maybe even ask the media? Then how do we, and plus all the different points of contact we all have, I think we're going to have to keep working at this, and this whole...
Just look what a fast talker he is. He just talks away these issues. He just comes up with stuff off the top of his head to explain away the issue.
Nice discussion, because it's so wrong, and so yeah, we're gonna have to keep at this.
That's not an answer.
It's going to be, whether it be at board meetings, whether that be even questioning some individuals who spoke in this very room, and frankly calling them out on it, because there's others who are perpetuating this.
Right.
And that is perpetuating something that's an opinion is fine, but perpetuating something that is intentionally factual is frankly it's dangerous.
Yes, and thank you, and that's why I wanted to raise it to correct.
I called it out with that board.
Yeah.
So I think let me take that back, Director Way, and think about other ways to get at this.
Sure, he'll think about
penetrating as we need to. So thank you.
Where's the discussion about the ads?
In the vein of messaging, I just had something that's not really a strategic conversation, but it is certainly time sensitive, and it's around the recent campaign of putting out the message of being responsible
Okay,
to
we're
paying fares in
at the very
in the
end
system.
of the meeting.
And I don't know if it came across the desk of other folks on the board, but it certainly flew past mine many times in the disconnect in the ad campaign about encouraging people to pay fares. I think there was some unfortunate messaging that came out that implied the social stigma of othering, and there were several instances
Yeah.
of folks feeling like there was some shame element of people that don't pay fares are like, and da da da. There was an ad campaign that got a lot of I'd say bad reaction, and
Oh, shit.
I know that there were even vendors out in the community that were approached about helping put some of this signage out, helping distribute some of the collateral that had those messages on it, and the reactions I got were quite unfortunate, frankly, in how folks interpreted those messages, and now how some of that collateral's been utilized essentially to I would say further the confusion about what we're trying to accomplish, which is responsible use of a system. And I don't know. I don't know if it came across anyone else's desk, and I don't know if the agency has thought at all about that campaign, whether it's something we need to pull back, revisit. Has there been any discussion within the agency? I see one head nodding, but I know that it came out in several kind of avenues of, what's TriMet doing, and it was hard for me to say, oh yeah, I totally see what we're doing, I get it, and I didn't have a good answer for what we're doing in response to that sort of reaction.
Sure, and I'd be happy to address that. Because we were going out on the street with some additional fare enforcement personnel, we wanted to alert the riding public to that. We didn't want them to be surprised. We wanted to say, hey, there's going to be more enforcement on the system. You should think about paying your fare. We worked.
That's a guy that makes $200,000 a year worried about poor people paying $2.50.
Worked with our ad agency and came up with a concept which we thought was intended to be a little bit light. It wasn't intended to be like, hard-nosed. It was intended to have some humor to it. Mm-hmm. The problem with humor is when it works great. When it doesn't work, it really doesn't work. And so when those ads were running, for folks who aren't familiar with the ads, they were essentially, don't be the guy who comes to the potluck without your casserole and, pay your fare. So they were received negatively. We pulled them within a couple of days. So they're no longer up.
They weren't
broadly implemented. They were mostly on our online presence.
And they were on the buses.
As soon as we got the negative feedback from folks, we pulled them.
Thank you. I wasn't sure if that's what happened.
So they pulled them up before.
You got some hits and then you have some misses. And you just have to say, okay.
Maybe new ad agency next time.
Yeah, right.
They've done some really good stuff for us as well.
A new ad agency.
Relatedly, Bruce, your idea about having a presentation to the board about equity efforts that the agency has undertaken, I think including there would be it would be helpful to have a presentation about the decriminalization of fare enforcement, which took place in July of 2018. So we have a year and a half or so of experience, reduced fines, administrative process.
Reduced fines, but not reduced enough, as far as I'm concerned. All right, so the board really had nothing to do with the pulling of the ad campaign, and that's what I wanted to know.